Hi guys, I'm here with the fantastic Emma Ronchetti, who's going to be joining us later on this month for the UK Making Music Day. Emma and I go back a little while now, which is great. We were brought up and raised in the same sort of area, and we're really looking forward to hearing some of your stuff. You're a singer songwriter.
I am.
Why don't you tell us how you got into that, or how you got into music? Let's start with there. Let's start with how you got into music initially.
Okay, yeah, so I was in the primary school choir. When I was about 7, I got a first solo, and the choir teacher thought she saw potential in me, so she kept giving me solos, which was awesome. We'd take it around to care homes, and there'd be some people asleep in the front row or heckling, but it was still good, even though we were about 7 or 8 years old. It didn't matter. But from there, I joined Sturts, which you know about.
Yeah. So
And
for those that don't know, Sturts is it's an outdoor amphitheatre. It's undercover now, full time, which is great at Upton Cross, just outside Liskeard. Um, they host a series of in-house shows. Just check them out, sturts.co.uk online. You'll get all the information you need to know about them. But yeah, we met at Sturts and we did a performance together, didn't we?
yes, we did. What was it called? The night of
Some
Four.
enchanted evening.
Some Enchanted Evening. That was it. Yeah, so like a mashup of all of those things. I remember you being very
Oh, the
into
orange
your role.
shirt. I had this hideous orange shirt with leather chaps and this big gold medallion. I think I was probably a little bit typecast, but it was so much fun. So
No.
much fun. What did you think?
What?
Can you remember what you did?
Yes, I sang from Jekyll and Hyde in his eyes.
Ah, yeah. Was that
Alice.
duetted that
With Alice, yeah.
with Alice? That's
And we did the was it from Once Falling Slowly
oh, that the collective thing, wasn't it? And
with
I
all
had
the
to play the
music.
cello, and I'm for those that know me, I'm not a cellist. I'm not a cellist by any means. So that was fun. That was fun. But yeah, great production, great production. So singing and songwriting. How long have you been doing that for?
So I wrote my first song when I was 15.
15.
So that was
You don't
13
have to tell us.
years
You
ago.
don't have to tell. You don't have to give those secrets away. It's okay. But if once it's out there for all to
Not
know.
everyone knows. No. It's all right. I'm not quite at the age where I have to hide it yet,
Not quite.
but
No. Not like
nearly.
some of us. I'm starting to get greys in the beard now, which is hideous.
Lucky,
So
lucky, lucky.
15, first song at 15.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about kind of your later musical education, kind of what you did, where you trained, how you studied, and maybe kind of a little bit about your creative process as a singer-songwriter.
Yeah, cool. So when I was 18, it's sort of a who you know rather than what you do. I got given a gig supporting Seth Lakeman at Sturts. And from there, I was like, I really want to do this as a career sort of thing. So I went and did a degree in commercial music at Bath Spa, which sort of told you all about the music industry. And it was eye opening, and it kind of made me not want to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I bet it's quite scary, isn't it? It's a bit of a dog eat dog world as well, which we might go on to
Yeah.
a bit later on. But yeah, it's a whole weird, wonderful, wacky world, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot about fitting into boxes, which was with the big sort of labels and stuff like that. But I much prefer sort of intimate gigs, and when you can meet the audience and see the audience, I think that's really, really lovely and sort of community spirit.
There's
So
something
from
there's
sorry.
something quite nice, isn't there, about being able to kind of interact and communicate with your audiences, which isn't through a big screen and being broadcast to the back of a 10,000 seater arena.
And to
It's
see their reactions as well.
yeah, being able to kind of engage with them, and I think as musicians as well, we feed off their reactions as much as they feed off us. So
Yeah.
it's definitely that two-way system thing going on. So I totally understand why you would prefer those slightly more intimate gigs. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So where on from there?
So after that, obviously feeling a little bit drained from it and thinking, oh, I don't really want to do that. I had a few years out where I just was looking at other things, and it just didn't happen because I always knew that music was my passion,
Yeah.
and to do anything else was just, it was just not going to work for me. So after a few years, I went and did my master's up in London at ICMP, which is the Institute of Contemporary Music Performance, and I did that in popular music performance, vocals. So that was really good fun, performing up in London.
Nice. So, did you gig much up there? Many opportunities to gig?
So I didn't gig much in London, but we did, because we had a lot of course content. So we did a lot of gigging within the institution, and obviously getting marking and stuff, like being marked. But
Oh,
that was,
you have a master's in some popular music
yeah,
thing, which
yeah,
is like because I'm old school. I'm a classical background for me. So as much as I love popular music, I think to focus that hard on a master's degree would be way beyond my capabilities. So hats off to you.
it was very fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was just the 10,000 word essay that was a bit annoying, but
yeah, that's a lot of words, isn't it? That's a lot of words.
okay.
But you clearly managed to bang it out, which is awesome. So, I'd like to hear a little bit about your creative process because I know from the other singer-songwriters that I've worked with and spoken to, every single process is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the end result is the same, which is a product, but
Mhm.
how do you go about getting to that end result?
So I don't know if I go against the grain when it comes to songwriting, but
Ooh, we like that. We like that. Go against the grain. It makes for great watching.
I don't like writing unless I want to write, and it can be months at a time I go without writing, but I know as soon as I need to write, and the song will come out in 20 minutes and it will be done.
Wow.
So it does, I don't think about it too much, if I'm quite honest. It just comes out, and then if there's sort of a line that I don't like, or something that I want to change, I don't think's right, then I'll go back and change it then. But
So,
the music,
so for you, it's quite the actual physical process of generating that song is really quick,
yeah,
but there might be quite a large gap between each of those songs.
yeah, or I'll
So,
write like three at a time and
yeah,
then nothing for
and a
ages.
break. So for you, is it kind of helped by using your writing skills as a bit of an emotional outlet? Do you get to
Yeah,
that stage where you're like, "Ugh, I just need to offload, and then you
yeah.
turn to music rather than having to go, okay, it's been 2 months since I wrote something, so we'll get something down.
I think there's a certain pressure after sort of maybe 4 months or so. You think, oh, I'm gonna lose this, or I think I went a whole year without writing a song a couple of years ago, and I just, when I came back to it, there was, I think I wrote 7 songs in the space of 3 days.
Okay.
It was just all pent up, sort of, and I couldn't process it at the time, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And then sort of when you've, it's very subconscious with me. I think it just comes out when it's meant to. And
It's just one of those things that happens, and then you're kind of acutely aware of that. Actually, I need to write.
yeah, and
That makes
I've been in trouble sometimes because I'll write a song. Maybe I'm with somebody, and I'll write a song, and it'll be quite negative and nasty. And then they'll be like, what does that mean? What do you mean by that?" And it's like, I don't know. It just came out, you know.
so that is really kind of subconscious, isn't it? Where you're completely
Yeah,
unaware of maybe the content until after the fact, and then you're kind of either premiering or launching this song, and then that person you're with is going, "What have what have I done?"
yeah,
You know. um, but again, it's really easy, isn't it, for people that you're close to I think instantly assume that the song that you've written is about them,
yeah,
and B, that it's because of a way that they may have made you feel. Whereas actually, it could have been someone knocked your bag over on the bus,
yeah, yeah.
and completely unrelated. So yeah, that's a really interesting point. That kind of some people might take that negativity and assume that it's directed at them.
But even you take one small thing, and to write the song about it, you might have to exaggerate it massively
Yeah,
to give it the emotion it needs.
To get that kind of emotional effect and impact that I guess as a songwriter you kind of want to achieve.
Yeah.
Um, that's quite a quick process in comparison to other writers, I think. So my next question to you is, what would be your USP, your unique selling point as a singer songwriter?
That's a very hard one, isn't it? Thanks for that, Marcus.
I save the good ones till the end.
Um, I I always thought it was where I was from, but that's really silly. I quite like country, and I think I put a bit of country twinge. Is that the right word?
We'll take twinge,
Twinge.
or you can have twang.
One of them. Twingy twang. Um, yeah, so I put a little bit of country into a sort of folk genre, I think. Um,
Do you think having kind of been raised and brought up in Cornwall and still living here around the area now, do you think that has kind of assisted that country folky feel? Because we've got a really good heritage down here of folk singing and traditional singing.
mm.
Do you think that might have influenced you at all?
I definitely think I've been influenced by nature, and I've always said that my the place I feel most at home is on the moor, like
Mm.
specifically Minions.
Minions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would go for a long walks around there with my headphones in and just listening to music, sort of for hours and hours at a time.
Yeah.
And then I'd come home and I'd be like, "Yep, I feel good. I'm going to write a song." I wrote a song about the granite stones on the old
Yeah.
railway paths. I've written songs about how the moon shines on the sea. Like, 'cause my parents moved to near the sea at the time,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and out my window I could see just the moon and like the silver line where the moon hits the water.
That kind of where you get that kind of shimmer.
Yeah, and I wrote a song about that. There's a lot of nature in the songs that I write, I think.
Amazing.
Mm.
Just before we close up, what might we have in store for later on in the month from you? Any ideas yet?
Well, that moon may be making an appearance.
Great. So thank you for joining me today, Emma. It's always a pleasure talking
Definitely.
to you. Guys, thanks for watching and tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you all sometime really soon. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you soon.